All right, welcome to another episode of Mind Protein TV. I'm Konrad Spielnikov.
And I'm Ralph Plum.
All right, we got another action-packed episode over here. What we got to focus on today is setting up your websites for mobile viewing. I think it's a very important topic.
Yeah, in the lights on, lights off segment, we're going to talk about whether or not you should create an iPhone app for your website or your business.
It can take you a lot of time, or you can make it really easy on yourself. And then we're gonna finish off in Get Off Your Ass section. We're gonna talk about getting your mobile strategy going. I think it's a very timely topic. The fastest growing viewership is on mobile devices these days.
Yeah, so it's all about mobile web here on My Protein TV today.
All right, our main topic today is creating a mobile version of your website. Why would you want to do that, Ralph?
Well, the easiest and quickest answer is it's the fastest growing segment people are accessing the World Wide Web is through their mobile devices. And now you can't go to a coffee shop or to the grocery store or even a restaurant without someone staring down at their mobile device browsing the internet.
Yeah, also with the advent of iPad and all the competitors, I think it's changing completely how people are interacting on regular basis with with computers, etc. You don't see too many people just kind of sitting in front of their desktop all day long unless they're at work. But there's just it's a lot more mobile, right? So we have to be part of this experience as a business.
Sure, and so how do we go mobile? Well, there's a couple different ways you can go mobile, and we'll tell you why we recommend one. Well, the first is if you have an existing website, right? What happens is if someone tries to access your website, the code that's written that makes up your web page communicates what kind of browser you're trying to come and communicate and find the web page from, right? So if you're on a mobile device, it's going to go and look for code that's going to display your website information on a mobile device. If you're on Firefox, the same thing holds true, or Internet Explorer. Now that's why it's important that you have code built in that's going to allow your site to be viewed on mobile devices.
It gets even more complicated because every browser has tens of different versions as well, and have a little experiment. Take your website and start opening it on different browsers. Whether it's Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, looking on an iPhone, etc. You'll get a totally different experience, and I guarantee your websites are going to be broken on some of those browsers, right? So what you want to do is, after you take a look at it, you want to start addressing that, especially when it comes to mobile devices. As Ralph mentioned, fastest growing area of, how people interact with the content. So you definitely want to start addressing that for your business, especially if you're selling something online.
Oh, without a doubt. Now, so how do you do that? Well, first way, you can hire a developer. So the developer if you had someone write your website the first time, or if you want to hire someone new, they can come in and they can, rewrite the code or include the code that's going to allow your site and ensure it shows up on all different mobile devices. The second way is there's a bunch of different web resources which we've displayed right here that you can go to, and they'll look at your website code and they'll create the code that you can embed, or you can hire a developer to do this if you're completely not tech savvy, to integrate that mobile code into your website.
Yeah, basically those are just apps that allow you to take the existing code or existing website and convert it into a mobile format. Right? The problem with hiring a developer, and we've gone down this path, it's expensive, it usually takes a lot of time, and frankly, because things are changing so quickly, you constantly kind of behind on trying to update it and making sure that it's working. Now, some of these apps are designed, that's their business. Yeah. That's what they do. So they're always constantly revamping their apps and making sure that that they're working with all the different browsers, and that's what you want for your business.
So the first thing we've kind of talked about here, just to review, is we've talked about hiring a developer or just using one of these apps that we've mentioned here and we have displayed for you. Or the other thing that's important when thinking about your mobile web strategy is multimedia, right? Especially video. Different video players do not show up, namely Flash. Apple is trying to fight Adobe and the other platforms, not allowing Flash on their different players, the iPhone and the iPad. But that's slowly changing, but it's important that you use the different players that are available and play web-ready video. Now, What's the biggest one?
You know, and Ralph, I should mention something. I definitely don't want to get into that, you know, in the crossfire, so to speak, between Adobe and Apple. I don't know which way it's going to go. I know that, you know, some have preferences one way or the other, but what we want to do is we want to use tools for, especially for video, of established players that address that issue for us. And, you know, so YouTube, for example, right? You know, those are the types of applications or, you know, or websites that allow you to view the videos on any type of code system, etc. So, you know, use that, you know, use it to your advantage, and that's where I want, you know, where you want to post your video. So this way, you know, whether I'm on an iPad or if I'm on, you know, some kind of Windows you know, mobile device, etc., you know, you're still going to be able to view the video.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a couple times here, the benefits of hosting your videos on a site like YouTube. The easiest thing, though, is YouTube's always going to get it right. They're the biggest player. They're owned by Google. They're going to get it right. So if you're going to put your multimedia strategy in a certain player, YouTube's a great one to put it in.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, video is only growing in its importance. So definitely something that you want to address, and when you're thinking about your mobile strategy.
Hey, welcome back. In our Lights On, Lights Off segment today, we're going to talk about whether or not you want to get an iPhone app made for your business.
Yeah, you know, with an iPhone app, it's like this hot thing, right? No, not only Apple now, not only does apps for, you know, for an iPhone and iPad, they actually use it for regular computers as well. You know, so without making it too long, you know, what are your thoughts about creating an iPhone app?
Well, first, like we talked about in the mobile strategy, same holds true here for an iPhone app. You can either hire a developer or you can use one of the lists that we provided here for you. There's tons of them out there, but we've listed about 5 or 6 of them here for you, where you can go ahead and they will look at your existing website, and it's a very simple application, and whatever you want to include in your iPhone app off your existing site, they can include for you. Or you can go out and hire a developer and make it super technical, super difficult, spend a lot of time, effort, and energy on it.
Again, you're going to lose some customization by using these types of you know, websites or apps in order to do that. And one thing I should correct, we're not just talking about an iPhone app, right? I mean, a lot of people interact on an Android system and then, you know, other phones. So it's not just about creating an app. And you should be looking at the leaders in the industry if you're going to be creating a mobile app, right? So, I mean, we're talking about an iPhone, we're talking about iPad, right? So those two products. But then we're also talking about the Android system, and then I think, you know, Windows would be probably another one that I would consider creating. I think BlackBerry is also very popular as well. So, you know, anyway, keep it simple. Lights on, lights off for creating an app.
You know, for me, it's lights on. Whether or not you use a app builder like we've talked about that's really easy, or a developer, really depends on your business. If you're a super big enterprise company that has a huge site and you're going to have people being able to purchase different things on your site and interact on the site, then maybe you want an iPhone app or a BlackBerry app or Android app that's customized. But for me and for most of our viewers out there, absolutely lights on for keeping an app, but use one of the pre-done services that are available out there.
I agree. Unless you're making money immediately, you know, I wouldn't hire a developer. I would just use one of these tools to make it easy on yourself. But definitely lights on. I agree with you, Ralph. All right, in our Get Off Your Ass section, Ralph, well, we're going to talk about, you know, what it is that you need to do this year to enhance your mobile strategy. And I think number one thing, the most important thing, is make it part of your list of things that you need to accomplish this week. I don't think it's something that you can ignore. Now, you know, is it going to be number one on your priority list? I don't know if that's the case, but it definitely should be one of the things you're addressing.
Yeah, that's the number one thing you need to take away from this show today, in this episode, is it has to be on your list. You can't ignore it anymore. It's the fastest segment of the online space and browsing space is a mobile web strategy. So where do we go from here? Well, take a look at the different apps that we've talked about for building either an iPhone app or making your site mobile ready. Evaluate those and make the decision, all right, should I hire a developer or should I go through one of these app processes? Now, again, like Conrad said, we're not recommending, hey, everyone needs an iPhone app tomorrow. Drop what you're doing and create an iPhone app. No, but get off your ass and figure out your plan and understand and set a goal for when you're going to get that done, because certainly if you don't do it, you're going to fall behind.
Yeah, it's a, you know, whether it's an app or just in general, being able to see your website on mobile devices, I think it's a very important part. Now, you know, one thing you can do is you can check out our MyProtein app as well. You know, that's something that we're in the process of developing right now. So by the time you're watching this video, you're definitely going to be able to check it out. And, you know, compare, look around and look what other people are doing, how, you know, how their sites are doing on the mobile devices. And then, you know, definitely check out what your website, what your current website, where it's lacking, you know, and so do that for sure. That would be the first thing to do.
Sure. Get off your ass, get it done. This week, make sure your website is able to be viewed across all platforms, including mobile devices.